Welcome to Holistic Hearts, a place to dive deeper into living holistically, a place where my mom shares thoughts on living fully, creating intentionally, and empowering others to come along with her in this journey.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Holistic Hearts. Again, we are bringing you all of the content this month of May to just bless you moms, bless you women, and to honor you and to provide you with encouragement and empower you to live a holistic life and to have a holistic heart. Today we have Jennifer Pickett. She is a functional medicine health coach, which is, as you guys know, I love this area of conversation. She has over 24 years of experience of motivating others to make a whole body, whole life approach to wellness. And she draws from her own personal journey to help her clients identify barriers holding them back from living life to the full. And her heart is to provide a realistic and a simple, holistic approach to promoting harmony among physical and mental and emotional and spiritual health. So welcome to the show, Jennifer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm so thrilled that you're here. And I love this topic that we're going to be talking about. I wanted to share on your homepage of your website, there are a handful of statistics that are mind-blowing that I think we're just going to lay out there first.
Okay, let's do it.
Set the tone. All right. So 95% of diets fail. 75% of overeating is due to emotions. 77% of people experience stress that impacts their health. 40 million adults suffer from anxiety in the United States. Wow.
Those are massive, right? I mean, those big numbers get your attention. And honestly, where we're at right now in 2021, it's even hard to get good statistics from what has happened to our mental and emotional health over this past year. I mean, I think the impact is truly devastating. So I think most women find themselves in such a dark, dark place, and they feel stuck. They feel like they're living in captivity.
Gosh, wow. So I would love, as you are, I mean, you can hear your passion in, coming alongside women to live a more empowered life. I would love for you to talk about what you do exactly and why you started this journey into functional medicine health coach.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I've got two teenagers, a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old. I've got two puppies and two cats. So, I mean, I don't know what our problem is. I mean, I don't know if we just love chaos, but it can be a lot at times. I have been a believer my whole life, have always had that faith in Jesus Christ. And I would love to say that I've always just made that relationship top priority. And I haven't. That's been part of my struggle. Sometimes I think when you grow up in the church, our tendency is to make that almost like a little checkoff box. And so that's why I'm so passionate about speaking to the soul part of this. What are you doing to nourish your soul? Because I've certainly been through struggles, and I recognize, wait a minute, my soul isn't getting nourished. I'm doing the right things, but I'm missing out. I know I'm missing out on all that God has for me. It was tremendous struggle that really brought me to where I am today, and that's to be a health coach specifically for women to encourage and empower them. So about 8 years ago, I lost my sweet mom, and she was my biggest cheerleader. And so I'm going to tell you that May can be kind of tough. January is really tough because that's the month that I lost her. And then May is tough because we're supposed to be happy and we're moms, and I need to celebrate my kids and being a mom. But everything in me screams, it's not fair.
Mm.
But I know my mom well enough, and I know exactly where my mom is because of her faith. And I know I will see her again one day. And my mom would be the first one to tell me, Jennifer, go out there and encourage others. And so that's what I like to do. So, part of the reason I'm so passionate is because of losing my mom and also seeing how very short life can be. So it was at that time after losing her that I would say that I kind of stepped up my health efforts a little bit. I realized, okay, I know what to do, but I need to step up my game a little bit. And I did. It wasn't until years later that I was noticing some tremendous health struggles, the low energy, the inability to get off weight, the just not feeling very fulfilled or satisfied with life, and feeling like I kind of just lost my sparkle. I had let
Mm.
stress rule, but it was that feeling of being stuck
Yeah.
and not knowing what to do because I kept asking myself, okay, what am I missing? I'm doing. I feel like I'm doing the right things. I feel like I'm eating right. I've certainly been trained, and I'm trying to get some exercise, and I'm taking good supplements. What am I missing? And so that journey led me to see a functional medicine doctor.
Okay.
I was so amazed at the time and the attention that was given to me in that functional medicine doctor's office. I mean, she spent well over an hour with me, and we talked so much. And the goal of functional medicine is to get to the root of the problem. And so I felt like for once, my everything that I was experiencing, it wasn't written off. My feelings were validated. And so then we had a game plan for how to address these things. I loved that approach so much. And my eyes were open because I'm a dietitian by profession. I have a master's degree in human nutrition. I've been trained. I've got the education, yada, yada, right? I mean, it only means so much. But I felt like my eyes were opened when I went to the functional medicine doctor's office and I started to see this is how people get results.
Wow.
This is how I can make a difference. And so I knew I wanted to continue my education. And so I went through a 1 year certification program. Now I'm a functional medicine certified health coach. And now finally, I know exactly what to do to help women see results. And it's because we're addressing the root issue. So that is why I went into functional medicine and why I'm so passionate today about helping other women.
Mm. Wow, that's beautiful. I love your story of just you were doing all the right things and yet there was something missing. Something
Mhm.
wasn't clicking. And I think that resonates with so many people where you are taking all the right supplements, you are doing the right exercises, quote unquote, and yet not seeing progress in your own healing journey or health
Mhm.
journey. And that's so important to dig into that and to find somebody who can help you to actually gain ground. I So one of the things with the month of May, and I'm honored, it's almost like a little dedication to your mom,
It is. It
to
is.
encourage others through this podcast and to pursue that connection to themselves, our moms that are listening, or these women, and really dig into what what is that thing that I'm missing. So what are you seeing with your clients that are missing this missing link or a
Mhm.
disconnect? What are you finding in your clients?
The main thing that I'm seeing in my clients right now, especially, is a mom who's struggling. She is a mom who is spiraling. Now, this mom desperately wants to take control of her health and her life, but she doesn't even know where to start. And it's so important that we start to be honest with ourselves. And I had to do that on my journey. As I was asking myself, what am I missing? I had to be honest with myself and say, okay, first of all, there's some emotional issues here that I haven't fully addressed. One of those was grief from my mom because I had in trying to be a mom and deal with kids who had lost their grandmother. I shoved a lot of that down, a lot of that grief down, and I didn't deal with it. And that's very unhealthy. But also that honesty with myself and realizing I'm not making my spiritual health, my relationship with God, a top priority. And how am I dealing with stress? I'm not dealing with stress in a very healthy manner. All of that, that honesty with self, that's mindfulness.
Yeah.
And I really notice with my clients, there's a lack of mindfulness. And it's not, I don't want that to sound negative. It's not intentional. Hey, I'm just going to be mindful. It's it's not, I don't have time to take care of myself. It's not intentionally I'm going to neglect my health. It is simply we are so wired as caregivers and
Yeah.
we are so busy taking care of others that we just think I can't do this. I don't have time to take care of myself. I don't have time to practice mindfulness and listen to my own body because I've got too many other people to listen to. So I'm seeing just a large lack of mindfulness because we're in survival mode and we are just trying to get by. We're barely putting one foot in front of the other. And the bottom line is there's a lot of just that burning the candle at both ends. And
Yeah.
it's not working. It's not working.
Mm. I love that when you just said that you can be very mindful of everyone else except for yourself. And that is so common. I've seen it in my own clients. I've seen it in my friends. I've seen it in moms who've gone before me. It's just so common to look to everybody else's experience, what they're eating, what way to support them to thrive, and yet we put ourselves on the back burner. So what are some practical, simple habits that we can incorporate today to help start that journey of mindfulness?
I would say first to realize where you are.
Mm.
Just take a pause. Where are you?
Mhm.
Are you stuck? Are you doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results? That's the definition of insanity, right? And how many times have I been guilty of that? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. I think it's that realization of, okay, I need to do something different. I had to get to that place where I said, okay, I've got to do something different. I know God wants me, God has a purpose for my life. I want to live life to the fullest. I know that's what my mom would encourage me to do if she were here today. So, how do I do that? First of all, realize where you are. Secondly, I think we've got to start listening to our body.
Yes.
Moms, we are really good at listening to everybody else. We listen to our moms, we listen to our sister, our neighbors, our friends, our spouse. We especially listen to our kids. Here's my example. Of course, now, we've been stuck inside a little bit far too long. And, you can hear a child cough from across the house.
Yes.
You, as a mom, you know exactly what child that is because you know your child that well.
Yes.
If we can apply those same listening skill, that same level of kindness to ourselves and
Mhm.
listen to our body. And that's all mindfulness is. I think sometimes we make it a little bit too complicated and we're like, I don't have time for that. No, mindfulness is just self awareness, it's listening to your body. So I think that would be number two. Number three would be to apply that mindfulness and identify your obstacles.
Mm.
What are those obstacles? What are those roadblocks that you keep running into time and time again? And this is where we have to be really honest with ourselves. Like I had to be honest with myself. Okay, some of these emotions and feelings that I've been having, I'm not dealing with those. And then the stress that comes about,
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with that in a healthy manner. I need to make some changes. That's one of my obstacles. It was stress management. So I had to make some changes, but it started with me identifying that obstacle.
Mm.
As we start to identify our obstacles, you really want to look at your habits. What kind of habits do I have? Am I just in survival mode? Do I even have healthy habits? Are there some habits that need to be tweaked? Have I fallen into some really bad habits because I'm just trying to get by? So look at your habits. Also, look at the feelings and the emotions that drive those habits.
Yes.
What are you doing at night to unwind and relax? Sometimes we fall into some very bad habits because, again, we're just trying to give ourselves a break. And as moms, we're exhausted, we're worn out, and we need to apply some mindfulness here. And then we want to use that mindfulness to be kind to ourselves.
Yes.
What does our body need? What do I need right now so that I'm even better equipped to be a caregiver? What do I need right now so that I have an even better capacity to love on those around me? Because I will tell you, as I've gone through these seasons of life where I am burned out, stressed out, I'm a wreck.
Yeah.
I'm not a real good mom. When I'm not taking care of myself,
Yep.
I'm a rotten mom. I'm short tempered. I have no patience. I have no margin. And so that's where I've realized too, okay, I have to make the time to take care of myself. And when I do, I'm even better equipped to care for those around me. So that mindfulness is so very important. Here's what I love the most. And here's what I go through with my clients every single day. That mindfulness leads to being intentional. And that's where we want to be.
Yes.
Mindfulness to being intentional. So mindfulness might be something as simple as, wait a minute, you know what? I just don't drink enough water. I mean, my goodness, I've got my coffee in the morning, and I've got some things throughout the day, but I'm not drinking enough water. Realizing that self-awareness, and then okay, I'm going to make an honest effort to get more water tomorrow. So I think that can be a very easy transition, but it starts with mindfulness, and then we shift to being intentional.
I love that. Well, and even just the awareness of if I haven't drank enough water, it's coming to that place of I'm thirsty, recognizing
Yes.
thirst.
Yeah.
And yeah, just starting there. That's a great way to start, I think. Wow. So what about the mom that's worried that if she starts thinking about herself more, then there's the guilt, and then there's the secondary worry, and I'm not taking care of my family. What would you say to a client that's worried about or having or experiencing mom guilt?
Yes. And I think mom guilt, man, is so very common. And I think it's such an effective tool of Satan, right? I mean, you and I discussed briefly just this aspect of spiritual warfare. And women, we are the heartbeat of the home. Yes, men are the head, women are the heartbeat. We set the tone. So just going from my own personal experience, when I would sacrifice self-care, thinking that I'm going to be a better mom, and it was the opposite. So I can look back to when my kids were young and realize that, man, I wasted some time. I wished away some time because I was in survival mode and I was just trying to get to bedtime.
Yep.
And I miss some of that. So again, it's why I'm so passionate about helping moms, because we've got our kids for this very short time. I don't want to waste this time. My daughter is 16 years old now, which sounds funny coming out of my mouth. She's not going to be with me much longer in my home. And, it's like the older your kids get, the more you realize all your friends were right, and that time really does go by very quick. And we have our children so very briefly. And I have found that I'm just better equipped to be the best mom for my kids when I'm taking care of myself. And that doesn't have to be a lot of time. But I've also learned, and I talk about guilt and shame a lot with my clients, because this is such a common problem with women. We live with guilt and shame. You name it, we're going to feel guilty about it. I mean, our neighbor could say, I just can't believe my flowers aren't blooming. And we're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Maybe it was something I did. I mean, it sounds so silly, but we just feel guilty about everything. We feel guilty and we feel ashamed. And it's so important that we realize, first of all, it's a tool from Satan himself. Secondly, that we cannot move forward when we're living in guilt and shame. And I mean guilt of any kind. It could be guilt from, hey, I haven't treated my body very kindly and maybe my health is suffering and I feel guilty about that. The reality is that you cannot hit rewind. You cannot go back to last week, last month, last year. So what can I do to move forward? I've got to let go of the guilt and the shame. To do that, I need to forgive myself.
Oh,
Show
wow.
myself some grace.
Mhm.
I show others grace. Am I showing myself some grace? Now, I know the right answers. My Heavenly Father has forgiven me. But
Mhm.
man, I'm not forgiving myself. I'm going to hold on to that. And it creates such toxicity in the body.
Yeah.
And it really keeps us from moving forward versus, okay, yes, I messed up. And yes, I've got some guilt and shame that goes along with that mess up, but I'm going to forgive myself. I'm going to accept the forgiveness that my Father has given me, and I'm going to determine to move forward.
Wow. That's powerful. That forgiveness of self is huge. And the being kind to yourself. I remember
Mhm.
my sister-in-law, I think I've shared this before on the podcast, but I have a couple of autoimmune issues that I struggle with. And one time I was sharing how frustrated I was over my body just not having the energy to do
Mhm.
what I wanted it to. And she just straight up was like, "Do you ever bless your body?" And I was like, no. And she was like, "I challenge you to." And like, instead of getting mad at your body, just instead say, "Okay, I bless you, body. I thank you for how hard you're working."
Yeah.
And it totally has shifted how I connect with my body in that forgiveness mode of like, I forgive you and I forgive myself and I forgive whatever else I need to forgive.
Mhm.
And there's so much kindness, like his kindness leads us to repentance. That's the turnaround point. So I love that so much. Well, I love, man, you are such a great wealth of knowledge and encouragement. I would love for you to share what's your podcast name because I know you have a podcast.
Yes.
Where can people find you?
Thank you so much, Kristen. I do have a podcast. It is the Healthy Harmony podcast. It's on all the major podcast channels, and that airs weekly. And then you can also find me at inspirehealthyharmony.com. Again, that's inspirehealthyharmony.com. And that's the same place that you can find me on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, at Inspire Healthy Harmony. And I would love to connect with you. If you have questions for me, if you just need a word of encouragement, I would love to connect with you and encourage you in that manner.
Thank you so much. What a great resource for any mom, any woman out there that is needing just that real simple way to connect back into mind, body, and spirit, holistic care. And gosh, thank you so much for coming on the show, Jennifer. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I really enjoyed being here with you. And you're right. I think this is a tribute to my mom. So thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks for listening to Holistic Hearts. As always, leave a review and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. And if you'd like to find out more about my mom and all the things she is writing about, go to www.kristenfieldschadwick.com.